Please stay. Hi everybody, my name is Emily. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Emily. You may know me as Ethereal Chasing. This is the final part 3. This is the final part 3 of the series that I started a few days ago called Indications of Energetic Manipulation and Siphoning. That may not be the exact title. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's pretty much the gist of what we're talking about. I have a few more points that I want to discuss, and I just want to talk. I feel like I've mentioned a lot of things on my channel, and you know, they get put into little videos, but not really just like all at once talking about it. So this is going to be a little bit of both. I just pulled a card from my favorite deck. If you know, you know. The message is, I have not stopped giving thanks for you, remembering you in my prayers. I have not stopped giving thanks to you, remembering you in my prayers. That's honestly my message to Spirit, God, Universe. No matter what I'm going through, I always give thanks to my Creator for allowing me to be here, because that is the thing keeping me here. You know, when things seem like, I'm gonna turn my music down. When things seem like they are falling apart, I must remember to pray, to find the silver lining, to find the good, to find the light in the darkness, because I innately know that it's there, but there are certain things that go on internally, old programming or old conditioning or chemical imbalance, whatever you want to call it, that keep me from fully stepping into the present moment. And a lot of the times, you know, I'm here and now. I'm really good at being grounded, but when there's a lot going on, especially in my home life, it can feel like a tug of war between the conscious part of me and my ego. But what's really beautiful about God is I'm never without clarity. It's just a moment away, and I can pick and choose when that moment comes. That's how much power I have. That's how much power you have. So as I'm talking about the few points that I have left, I have them down here in my journal. As I'm talking about those, I'm going to be doing my makeup for the day. I'm going to put this right here. Okay. And I have my little mirror. And yeah, let's get started. I might take this off because it's kind of going all over. Okay. So the first one that I want to talk about is predatory behavior. Now, this doesn't mean that the person is being, you know, what we consider a predator. One second. Again, these are indications of energetic siphoning and manipulation. So somebody having a tendency to act in predatory ways doesn't mean in the way we might think, you know. I don't even want to say it because you know what I'm talking about. Predatory behavior can be done with somebody who's the same age as you, somebody who is the same sex as you, somebody who you thought is just your friend. They can still act in ways that are alarming. For instance, I have had friends in the past, girlfriends, who how do I say this? The people that they were attracted to were younger than them. And not younger to the point of like, okay, that's gross. I mean, it is, but just young enough to have emotional intelligence over them, to be more mature than them in a way that allows them to manipulate and control. Now, technically, these friends weren't doing anything towards me. I mean, they weren't technically doing anything towards me, but they were acting in that way towards other people. And what sometimes we don't want to see is exactly what needs to be seen. What, we think is none of our business actually is our business, because this is a whole person. The way that they treat one person is going to show up in how they treat you eventually, or in a different way, but still there, Another way that somebody can act in this way is taking advantage of people that are not as aware as them. So this could be as intelligent as them, or as confident as them. That's a big one. Growing up shy, you find that the people that are gravitated towards the people that are gravitating towards you often have a superiority complex, if that makes sense. Because I'm a shy person, they often felt like they could take whatever light they saw within me. So, for instance, in high school, I moved around a lot, and the people that would want to be my friends, usually it was a balance, okay? I'm not saying everybody was like this. But growing up, I always had a mix of people that wanted to be my friends. They were the people that were already popular, already had lots of friends, but they grew liking to me or gravitated towards me because I have a light within me that they wanted to seemingly be in control of, seemingly be superior to. It's kind of like when you see men with very beautiful people on their arms, it's saying more about their ego than it is actually about that other person, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they may not even really care about the person on their arms, but having them there is like that saying arm candy or trophy wife. It's like you give them a sense of superiority simply because it looks as though they have you. And the same goes for friendships and friendship dynamics. If somebody is very, very sweet and kind and generous, intelligent, selfless, empathetic, the popular kids, or the kids that seem like they have it all, are going to want that around them because it gives them a higher sense of confidence outwardly. They're not feeling any better about their internal state, but it outwardly has a certain appeal that attracts others into their circle, into their web of deception. And this is all over the place, this type of predatory behavior. It's wanting to look a certain way to others, so you go after people that are lacking a certain sense of confidence within themselves, because they would be able to see right through that, and they wouldn't feel the need to stick around because they know that they're not really being appreciated or seen or loved in the way that they are. It's a way to look better, which is not okay, obviously. So what this really means when you come into contact with somebody that's like this is it means that they are lacking an energetic fulfillment. And what that energetic fulfillment is self-love, is self-worth. And even deeper than that, it is self-awareness. It is awareness of just anointing myself. It is awareness of the higher consciousness that exists within all of us. Because once you attain that connection, once you reach self-realization, you realize that there is nothing and nobody to be gained. And you realize that in the attempt to gain is where we are left empty. That is where the emptiness hails from. This is my favorite part of my routine. Okay. If these people that are energetic manipulators and siphoners reached self-actualization, then they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. And it's really important to understand that because it protects you in the long run. One second, I need to grab something that I left on the other end of the room. It's all a matter of realization. It's all a matter of self-connection. Obviously, the fact that you're watching this means that you are on the road to this, or you're already there. I'm not exactly sure where in your journey you are. I can only speak for myself, obviously. But clearly, if you're watching this video, you have experienced people that have not reached this, and it's really important to know. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. These are people that in this lifetime are not meant to reach this certain level of awareness. Otherwise, they wouldn't be acting from this place. There's a reason why I have so much in common with people that are destined to do what I'm doing. And it's because there is a code. There is a code in our DNA, if you will, that allows us to reach certain heights that are not meant for the people that believe they need to do these horrible things in order to gain. Even in my worst times, even in my darkest times, I would not even dream of doing the things that the people I'm speaking about do. And it's because it's not written in my code. It's not written in my story. That karma is not mine. It's not yours. It's really, really important to remember that and realize that too, because if you don't, you're going to put yourself in the same box that they are on, that they are in. You put yourself on the level that they are residing when you diminish your value and your worth. God doesn't want us to do that. So that was predatory behavior. Again, it can look many, many ways, but those are examples of how it has shown up in my life. And I didn't realize that that's what it was, until I started to look more into philosophy, especially history. You can see in historical texts how these types of energies consistently repeat and manifest in the form of manipulation and siphoners and people that commit crimes. It's inescapable. That's their karma, not yours. Remember that. The next point is blame and shame casting. People that put their self-responsibility onto you, example, blaming you for the way that they feel, or blaming you for the issue that was caused. Let's say, okay, I had a partner. This is a true story. I had a partner, what am I saying? I had an ex-boyfriend who would get very violent. I actually had two partners. Why do I keep using that word? Maybe because I was brainwashed at that time to think that they were my partner, and that's what allowed me to stay for so long. But, we've released that. It's just language. Language that doesn't mean anything now. These people, okay, that I considered partners. Why am I stuttering now? That I considered partners at the time. These people, the ex-boyfriends, they would get very violent. I'm speaking about two specifically. they would get very violent whenever we would argue. And it ended up multiple times in situations that I found to be life-threatening. I have been strangled to the point of blacking out. I have been beaten to the point of bleeding, intense bruising, cops being called, people being handcuffed. Okay, the whole 9 yards. I've been in these situations as a young person. It started at 19. The first relationship started at 18, 19, and then ended around 21. And then the next relationship started at 22, 23, and ended at about 26. So, young person, naive. And even though I consider myself an intelligent being, when I'm in love, baby, I'm in love. And at that time, blindly in love. I'm still, a lover girl, if you will, but an aware one, okay? An aware one that knows her worth. What I really want to say is that these people that physically harmed me would always, always say that it was my fault. Always. The last person I was with was actually an abuser to their last girlfriend, and they told me about this. And then the first few times that it happened to me, they said it's my fault, that they grew from this, they've changed, and I'm bringing this part of them back out. Wow. This is a person that can never change. I'm realizing as I'm even filming this, that people, when they are incapable of taking responsibility for their own actions, they are stuck in the cycle for life. That's them. That's their karma. That's their life, their whole spiel. You never have to worry about it being true for you, because you're able to take responsibility for what you've done, for what you've said. It all is accountable. But they are incapable of doing that, and that's when you know that they're stuck in a never-ending cycle. And there's also no reason to feel bad for these people. I used to feel bad for them. There's no reason for that, because everybody has a chance and the ability to atone for their sins, has an ability to come to God, to the universe, to source, and say, I don't want to be this anymore. Help me change. And then God says, okay, this is what you need to do to change. These are the trials. You need to go through them. I'll be with you, but you need to go through them. And they can. That's how you know if you're the one. If you're able to get on your knees, to pray, and to receive the trials that will lead you to the blessings. It also really makes sense now that I'm thinking about it as to why these people would be unable to take responsibility, and it's because it's not in their code. They themselves are growing up, or were growing up, around people that reflected that back to them. Because in past generations, you were able to get to a certain point through deception and manipulation. So I'm thinking of these past people's parents and grandparents. And just from the little bit that I knew about them, they reached a certain amount of status or wealth by being, to a certain extent, an energetic manipulator. It's so obvious to me now, and it didn't really click in my mind, but that's why the people that I was in contact with and relationships with were able to survive for so long living that way, because of what they see around them, the people that they're surrounded by. It's like, well, if they did it, then so can I. Why can't I? It's like people that believe the Matrix is not only real, but it's in their favor. It's in the manipulator's favor. It's like people thinking that this is Matrix and they get to be Agent Smith. No. You're gonna die. You think that by stopping the truth and by trying to deceive in order to gain is going to get you anywhere, you're sadly mistaken. And you don't need to feel bad about it either. It just is what it is. The judgment is always happening. I don't believe that there's going to come a day where the clouds part and we see the form, of the Great One come down and there's a flood and all these things. I don't think it's going to happen like that. I think it's happening constantly, internally. Because within you is the kingdom. Within you is everything happening all at once. There's no separation between now and then. It's all happening right now. People are in real time being brought down because of the sins that they've committed, because of the horrendous acts that they have taken part in, that they have condoned. It's all falling down. And there's no way to stop it either. This is divinely ordained. People that try to cast blame or shame onto others for living in their truth are seeing in real time how they're really doing it back to themselves. Oh, it's your fault. It's your fault that I'm like this. It's your fault that I hit you. It's your fault that I called you that. Walk away and see how they act, are treated, or don't. Just know full well that that's being handled accordingly. The third indication of people that are energetically attempting to siphon your energy, manipulate your energy in order to gain personal power is constant competition. I once knew this person who said to me, there's no competition between us. They said this to me completely unprompted. This is somebody that supposedly wanted to be my friend. Anybody that unprompted brings up competition, they just gave themselves up. You just saw the mask slip, okay? Because when you know something, you don't need to say it. When you say it, you're trying to make a point. That's why we use words. That's why we communicate. It's very important to listen to people's words and to believe them when they say something. I continued hanging out with this person because I thought, maybe they're just trying to deal with an insecurity. It has nothing to do with me, obviously. They themselves feel maybe in the past that they had to deal with people that were in competition with them, whatever. I never take things personally. That's one of the ways that I protect myself, and my sense of well-being is not taking anything people say personally. But I also remember everything. So I let that go, but I just remembered it, and then it kept showing up in different ways of acts of comparison, essentially. Them constantly comparing themselves to me, and not just physically, like comparing themselves to my life. And that's a very big red flag of somebody who's energetically siphoning you, because they are masking who they really are in order to gain your presence, in order to gain your respect, your friendship, your relationship, whatever it is. They're attempting to hide their true intentions by showing something else. And this isn't going to make sense for everybody, but it's making sense for the people that it's meant for. I can feel that. When you are trying to figure out if somebody is your friend, just listen to what they say and remember that they mean it, that they chose those words. We're all adults. I don't even feel like that goes without question, because if you're watching this video, you know exactly who you are, or you're on the road to discovering it. And the people that you're meeting along the way can be put in two different sections. The first section is masking. The second section is authenticity. Anybody that gets thrown into the masking box, masking whatever I just said section, they don't deserve your energy and your presence. They don't. They don't. They're going to convince you that they do. They're going to make you think that you need them. That's the only way that they have in. Once they realize that you see it, you see their true self, they're going to scramble. When I cut that particular person off, they messaged me a few things and I ignored them. But the last thing that they messaged me is, if I did something to hurt you, please let me know so I can apologize. Something like that. What do you mean if you did something to hurt me? There are so many things happening in that statement. The first thing is assuming that I'm hurt by your actions, assuming that you have that type of power over me is wild. But they do it. They assume it because it's their ego surviving. It's their ego grasping at whatever they can in order to make themselves feel better. Them believing they have any type of influence over you is the first red flag. The second is the word if. That means that they are aware of their shitty, crappy, whatever behavior, their masking behavior, but they only want it to be said if you say it. The third, let me know so I can apologize. You can apologize at any point because you are an aware person of your own actions. You're not aware of the greater thing going on, that's obvious, but you're aware of your own actions. That's why you did them in the first place, because you're attempting to do things that you shouldn't be doing. So I let them all sit with that. Anybody that shows me they're wearing a mask, they just need to sit in it. I'm not going to pour into them anything. Anything. It's pretty amazing to see it happen in real time, but I still get, I don't want to say goosebumps, it's more like, I will say goosebumps. It's kind of chilling because I can see it happening before it happens. And then it happens and I'm like, oh. I used to think to myself when those things would happen and I wasn't conscious that I was doing it, is, did I do that? Like, I would try to take responsibility for the end of a friendship or the end of a relationship. And it's like, no, every single time, no. God is doing this. This is all part of the plan. The grand master plan. Unstable things are not meant to last forever. They're only materializing for the time needed to learn the lesson. And then they disintegrate. And you let them go on with their path. and you continue on yours. Ram Dass has a very beautiful quote. Everything in your life is a vehicle for transformation. Use it. Use it. Trust that everything is happening for you. Trust that everything is working out in your best interest. I know I am. And life sometimes looks like it's falling apart, but that's only because I lose my goggles, if you will. God gives me a certain sight that I don't have without my faith. In order to see the greater path, I need to walk with faith, walk with those goggles. Okay, so that was competition, constant competition or constant comparison. My camera's going to die. Let me charge it for a second and we'll come back for the fourth indicator, whatever. Okay, so I took out my hair. Camera is charging. The last point that we're going to talk about while I do my mascara is mockery and imitation. This is a really, really big one. Mimics. Mocking people that imitate you because they want to be you. Because they want you and they can't have you. Because they don't understand you. There's so many reasons why people mock. And don't get me wrong, once or twice, I'm saying like once or twice in the length of a relationship is okay. But even then it's not, just watch it. Watch when people do this and watch for the reasoning why. Be like, why did you mock me? And it's like, oh, because I thought it was cute, or oh, because it was funny, or blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, it's because they want to be you. And I know that sounds so weird, but it's true. They want to be you, or they want you and they can't have you. I'm a woman. I'm a girl. I've had multiple men mock me and imitate me. I don't think that they wanted to be me. Or maybe, I don't know. But they certainly couldn't have me. And as soon as somebody does that to me, I know that they are a mimic, that they are a masker, that they are a shitty person, okay? And the times in my life where other women have done this to me, it's been very gross, but it's mostly been, it saved me. Even though it's a very subtle thing that people can do, it shows you who they are on a much greater scale, because it shows you that they have no sense of personal being. They have no sense of self. If they find humor in you being. Most of the time, they would just mock the way that I say things, the way that I react to things, and then as soon as I call it out, they'd be like, it's just a form of flattery, I think it's cute. No. There are other ways to flatter me. There are other ways to make somebody feel funny or smart or whatever they're trying to accomplish other than that. They're trying to make you feel bad about the way that you are by repeating it back to you in usually a tone that's unflattering. It's because they're insecure. This is a very, very subtle one that I feel like a lot of people are not going to understand why I'm including this, and it's very important. So if it's not resonating for you, then it's not resonating. I don't really care. It's very important because it happens a lot. It's a way that people use mimicry to control. memory. But it's not going to work anymore. One, because you're aware of it, and two, because you realize how you deserve to be treated. Once you realize your worth, they scramble. So just continue to do that. And these people that were taking from you energetically, that were manipulating you in order to get what they want out of you, their shit falls. It crumbles. It just goes to crap. It already is to crap, but it's no longer being able to be held up. It's like when you prop when you prop a newborn up and they just it's like that. Okay? It might not happen right away, but it's happening. They're going down. Okay? And again, no reason to feel bad for them. It's their karma, it's their path. You literally kill yourself. I shouldn't say literally kill, I shouldn't say that. You literally drain yourself when you put any type of emotion into them. I don't care if it's pity, empathy, sympathy, what the fuck ever. I'm cussing a lot in this video. Excuse my potty mouth. I'll be better about that. But I feel very strongly about this topic. That's why it's a three-parter, because I knew that I would have examples and things to talk about and add to all of these indicators. But it's very important to me because I'm somebody who has been described as meek, shy, timid, quiet, and been taken advantage of because of those things. I've been taken advantage of for 26 years. It was all God showing me what the devil looks like, what hate looks like, to put me on my path, which I'm so grateful to be walking. I'm so grateful to be living this life that I'm living. That's why I make these videos, to share with others what it looks like when you're not around the right energies, when you are being taken from, being taken advantage from, and you might not even realize it. I'm so grateful. So that is the end of this video series. The indications of people who are energetically siphoning you, manipulating you. Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe. This is one of the last videos that I'll be filming in this space. You may recognize it, you may not, but this was my room in an apartment that I was renting. If you want some more information on why I'm moving, go watch my last video, 2 videos ago. I spoke about my wicked roommate, and I have another video about it too. But I'm moving. I have my own home that I'm going to, and I couldn't be more excited. So you'll see a lot more videos there, and also just out and about in the world, because I have so much more free time in order to film in locations where I feel called to and drawn to energetically. And I'm so excited to share that with you. So you'll see a few more videos from here, but mostly not, because I'm on my way out, and this is just like a big closing ceremony, you know? I'm so grateful. So thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. I love you. Bye.